Sauce Chief.
Alright, how y'all doing today? My name is CJ, and this is the first episode of the Hot Take Podcast. I got my dad here, my co-host. How you doing today?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and we do have a realm of different topics today. We'll mainly be focusing on sports, and my first topic is, how do you feel about the situation with Giannis in Milwaukee? Do you feel like he should depart from Milwaukee, or do you feel like he should stay and keep building on the legacy he's already building?
Well, to be honest, I feel like he should stay, man. Like he's been down there his whole career already. You know, he had some good pieces come and go. He got Dame down there. I know Dame's dealing with injury. They lost Holiday a little while ago, but they already got a chip. You know, he got a chip down there with them. He got some loyal fans that love him down there in Milwaukee, and for sure right now don't see a reason why he should want to leave, man. And when he finishes his career, when he finishes his career, him staying there with that one team is going to look great. I feel like it's going to just increase his legendary status, and I feel like he could win another chip if you just bring in one more star. Not role players. They got a lot of them, but one more star, I think they can go far.
Yes, I definitely feel the same way. I definitely feel like he should keep on building a legacy out here because the East is definitely wide open. As you saw last season, I feel like if he just keeps on going and keeps on striving hard like he's already been doing, I definitely feel like he'll do better towards the end of his career. And being on a team for your whole career and really doing good, that's a real good thing to just look back on and really when it all said and done. And hopefully he goes into the Hall of Fame. I definitely feel like he's a Hall of Famer already, but yeah.
That's for sure, man. Loyalty over royalty, man. Stick it out with the squad you came in with if you can. All right, now let me open up my iPad real quick because I got a question I want to ask you. All right. How did you feel about watching Game 7 this past NBA Finals?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. It definitely hurt. I definitely got to start off with the Tyrese Halliburton injury. He was going crazy in like the first 4 minutes. He had 9 points before he got sadly injured. I definitely feel like if he was on the court, he definitely went for like 40 easily. But yeah, it definitely was a sad injury. It was definitely a good game. The Pacers, they still fought hard. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they was up 49-48 at half. But yeah, it was definitely a good game, but definitely a well-deserved win for the Thunder. And yeah, I feel like it was a good win all around for the Thunder.
Most definitely a well-deserved win for the Thunder. Halliburton was definitely going off before he went down with injury, man, and I think he definitely would have had a big game, and it's highly likely that it would have changed the outcome based off just what I saw in that short amount of time in Game 7. But yeah, the Thunder deserve it. They played their hearts out. But man, shout out to the rest of the Pacers team for just sticking it out after they man went down. And I feel like they really put on for him. And I know he was proud watching them. I know he wish he could have been out there, but that's just part of the game. And, you know, that's the part that's the ugly truth. But yeah, Halliburton was going off, man. And I hate to see him go down like that. And seeing his dad up there having to look at that, man, that's hurtful, you know what I mean? I don't know how, or I know how I would feel if you was out there and I saw you go down. So I felt this pain, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that was a great game, and the Pacers, man, they showed a great effort, and TJ McConnell off the bench through the whole series, and this whole playoffs really was just, you know, it's always somebody that pop out in the finals that I never heard of, bro. You know, I had never heard of bro to the finals, man, but it's always somebody, man. And I said before, he remind me of Dellavedova back in the day, just popped up. Ain't nobody really know him, but he really made a name for himself in his finals, and I'll keep my eye on him from here on out.
All right, and the next topic I want to go to is the Jrue Holiday plus the Porzingis trade. How did you feel about that when that hit the air?
Okay, explain that to me real quick.
So basically, Jrue Holiday, he was traded for Anthony Simmons and a second-round pick. The Celtics, they're going through a rough time with the whole salary cap situation, and they're just trying to basically get some free money to play around with. And the Porzingis trade, he went to the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, and he was traded for a second-round pick and Georges Niang.
Okay. So Anthony Simmons for Jrue Holiday. At first, I'm like, that's a slap in the face to Jrue Holiday because Jrue a dog.
Definitely.
He's a role player. He's not the leader of the team, but man, he plays his role very well. And I don't feel like him for Anthony Simmons is an even trade. But I understand the Celtics position. They need to bring in somebody to get that cap space up. So I know they're gonna pay Anthony less than they gonna pay Drew. It's just what it is. But yeah, that's that on them. And down Porzingis is down there with Trae Young. Who the Hawks give up to get him?
Georges Niang, he's not like the top player. He's a decent role player.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of bro. He ain't really nobody for real. But Porzingis a big name, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I really feel like Porzingis has peaked already. I feel like he's downhill in his career. And I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater or put shade on him. And I wish him the best. And I hope that he get his second win. But from what I've seen from him since coming back from battling injuries and all that, I just don't feel like he's the same. And I feel like he's not the piece that Trae Young needs to be successful down in Atlanta. I wish him the best, but I just don't see that working out. How you feel?
I definitely feel the same way, but trading Kristaps for Georges Niang, I definitely feel like that's disrespectful. But back to the fit with Trae Young and Kristaps, I just don't feel like that's gonna work out. Trae needs like a very like fast-paced big man, and I just don't feel like Kristaps. He's very all around, shooting threes, really all that. I just feel like Trae Young, he just needs that solid big man. And I just don't feel like that would work out. I feel like somebody like Mark Williams that went to the Suns, I feel like that would be good, but I just don't feel like that would really work out. But Kristaps is definitely a all-around good player.
Was an all-around good player, but it is what it is. Okay, so moving on. How do you feel about your man Jalen Ramsey going up to Pittsburgh to play with them Steelers?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm definitely going for the Steelers. I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl, but that whole mesh down there with Darius Slay Jr. They definitely do need to pay TJ Watt down there, but it's definitely looking good down there in Pittsburgh. I wasn't really a big Steelers fan before, but I might hop on that bandwagon train because they're definitely looking good to start this offseason. Definitely on the top of my radar. How you feel?
Man, they definitely making some good moves. I was wondering where they was going with the Pickens trade and actually let him go, but I think bringing in Ramsey is a good move. And I don't know, the Pittsburgh, they've been looking nice for the past few years. I don't think they quite ready to make it to the Super Bowl. They can probably win a playoff game or two, but I think that's kind of where their ceiling is right now. But we'll see how it go, man. I'm always excited on the offseason and seeing all the players get moved around, and it's always fun. It's big names, you know what I mean? Big name players I like to see, they get, juggled up a little bit in the league, and I like to see how they fit in with these new systems that they're in.
Yeah, but the last thing I did want to say on that topic, I just don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to fit. I definitely do hope that he has a good season, but he just has a lot of fast players, and he's definitely getting up there in age, and I just don't know if he's going to be at his 2 MVP quality seasons. But I feel like he'll be decent.
Yeah, I guess we're going to see, man, when the offseason come now. How do you feel about, I guess we're going to see when that new football season come, How you feel about LeBron picking up his player option down in LA? How you feel about LeBron? He's getting $52.6 million for 1 year. That's insane, man. But what you think LeBron got left in the tank?
Man, LeBron could really play 50 more years if he wanted to, but he definitely does have a family, and it's definitely life outside of basketball. But for anybody getting $52.6 million, I'm pretty sure it's definitely LeBron. LeBron has given a lot to the NBA, and he's getting it back, and he definitely deserves all the flowers and everything. But just as far as like what they got down in LA, I definitely feel like first off, they definitely need a big man, but they definitely need some more pieces to fit around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. And I don't really know about Austin Reeves right now. He's looking a little shaky. He has his ups and downs, and for now, like, the downs are looking worse than the ups. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Hey, I feel you, man. LeBron is the GOAT, man. Let's get one thing clear while we talking on bro. LeBron is the GOAT. I don't want to hear none of that other yippee yappy. Bron is the GOAT. I feel like he got at least 5 more years left in him at a high level. And yeah, 52.6 million for 1 year. That's good money, and I feel like he earned every penny. He put the NBA on his back. We won in the year 23 now? Yeah, so come on, man. We know what it is, man. LeBron been carrying this league for years. Not to take away from nothing nobody else did, but we know what it is. The ticket prices are high when LeBron comes in town. Definitely. But I'm happy to see that he's still staying. I thought he might retire this year. I'm not gonna lie, but he had an incredible season this past year. They made the playoffs even with that mid-season trade bringing Doncic in. You think you get two superstars together and it's just automatic wins, but they got to find a way to play together. And I think it'll work out because LeBron doesn't need the ball. He always been pass first. Don't get it twisted. Man got the most points in NBA history, and he's a pass first player. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm ready to see what it's gonna look like. I'm ready for some NBA basketball already, and they still partying all. You know what I mean? I love NBA basketball, man. You know what? I was thinking about watching the Big Three. I never really watched the game. I see some clips, but I've seen you watching it. How you feel about that? You think I should start watching it?
Yeah, I definitely feel like you should tap into the Big Three. It's kind of like it's definitely a good thing to watch, but I feel like sometimes you gotta know the players. But first off, I do want to shout out Michael Beasley. I'm pretty sure his name is, or hold up, yeah, I think that's his name. He's doing really good for the Big Three, and he's putting up good numbers, and he's definitely one of the top players. And yeah, I definitely feel like you should tap into the Big Three. It's definitely fun to watch and entertaining while basketball is over, the NBA.
For sure, man. I saw Michael Beasley and I saw Lance Stevenson out there on some of the clips that's been floating around. It definitely got me thinking about getting into it, but I wanted to have a little fun here real quick. I saw some stats earlier just that had me laughing, and this is the most ejected players in NBA history. Okay. So I'm going to tell you these numbers, and I want you to tell me which ones that you think are the worst, okay? So we got Reggie Miller with 12 ejections over 18 years. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of crazy, but it's expected. I ain't gonna lie with him.
That's right. That is crazy, man, but we just getting started. So we got Kenyon Martin coming in, 12 ejections over 15 years. So same amount of ejections as Reggie, 3 years less. So on average, bro, crashing out a little more. How you feel about that?
Man, but I feel like with the lower level players, no disrespect to him, but I just feel like with the lower level players, it's definitely man, you ain't got a lot to give off. But I'm not really surprised with that. And his son, Kenyon Martin Jr., he's definitely a dog. Let me just say that. He's definitely a dog.
Yeah, Junior's definitely a dog, man, but I can't believe you just called Kenyon Martin a low-level player, man. Come on, young boy. Come on now. All right, man. Next up, we got Matt Barnes with 13 ejections. Matt Barnes is a certified crash out. Let's be clear.
Man, Matt Barnes, I'm going to be honest, he should really have 40. And, I'm not even surprised with that. Matt Barnes, he's definitely that dog. And, he definitely got it in him. I'm not even surprised. I feel like he should have way more. But, that's Matt Barnes right there.
Yeah, and that was 13 ejections over 14 years. Matt Barnes, certified crash out. So now, honestly, this number is lower than I thought with this next player. But we got Shaq coming in at 14 ejections, but that's over a 19-year career. We're talking about the big man Shaq. How you feel about that?
Man, I'm going to be honest. I don't really think that's that bad. I don't really take Shaq as a crash out player, but, man, 14, that's a high number. That number's definitely up there.
Yeah, man, Shaq, honestly, when Shaq is mad, y'all better just go the other way. 14 ejections, I thought it would have been more because Shaq don't play, but he not a crash out. I don't think so, but the man don't play. But next up, we got DeMarcus Cousins coming in, 14 ejections over 11 years. So him and Shaq tied up, and it's almost a decade difference, man. So that's crash out level. How you feel about that one?
Man, I'm going to be honest, DeMarcus Cousins, he's really that dog. I've seen him get real heated in time, so it's I'm not even surprised, but he's definitely that dog.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins is a dog, man, and I know what we seen recently in the news, DeMarcus Cousins is scratching his genitals and touching a fan's face right afterwards. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. That is so disrespectful. I'm surprised charges were not pressed, but that's definitely disrespectful, and you should not do that without consequences.
Yeah, that's wild for sure, man. But coming up next, and before we talk about this player, I'm gonna just say rest in peace. This is Anthony Mason. Now, this is a little bit before my time, before I was really watching, basketball locked in for real. But this man got 16 ejections over 13 years. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't know that person, but rest in peace to him. But 16 ejections, that's a lot.
Hey, I never thought I would hear you say you didn't know an NBA player. I swear, boy, you and your brother, y'all could name off every NBA player that ever laced up a pair of shoes. So I'm surprised to hear that you don't know Anthony Mason. Big career with the New York Knicks, Milwaukee Bucks, I believe. Once again, before my time, but I know him a little bit. Now we got up next the round mound of rebounds. Your boy Charles Barkley, man. This man got 16 ejections over 16 years. That means he was locked in for at least one crash out every year. How you feel about that?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. He definitely got a mouth on him. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm not surprised that he got all them ejections. I ain't gonna lie. That's really warranted with Charles Barkley. I ain't gonna lie, but he that dog, and he's that dog.
Charles is a dog. Never won a ring though. Get your bag up. Hey. We got Dwight Howard coming in next. 17 ejections over 18 years. That's big Dwight right there, man. Crash out, man. How you feel about that?
Man, that's kind of crazy. 17 ejections is crazy, but I don't really take him as really a crash out player, but I don't know. That's crash out equal. I don't know. That's crazy right there.
All right, now look, up next, we got two more people. I want to see if you could guess the number one. Real quick, who you think I got in my top spot? And I'm going to tell you the number ahead of time. In my top spot is 29 ejections. I can't tell you the year because that might give it away. But we got 29 I said injections. We got 29 ejections for this player. Who you got?
The first player or the second player?
This going to be the player coming in at number one with the most ejections in NBA history.
I'm going to be honest. I just want to say Draymond, to be honest. Because Draymond, I done seen some crazy and wild plays from Draymond. I definitely think Draymond's in that number one spot. I'm not going to lie to you.
Hey, that was a good guess. And honestly, when I saw this list earlier today, I thought Draymond would hold the number one spot too. But Draymond actually coming in at number two with 23 ejections. Okay. Over a 13 years and counting.
That's crazy.
So could Draymond break the record? Stay tuned to find out. But at the number one spot, hold on, before moving on, talk about Draymond a little bit because you've been watching him since you was a little kid. So you've seen mostly all his crash outs. So speak on a few that come straight to mind.
The first one that come to my mind is definitely the Yusuf Nurkic smack. Sorry for pronouncing the name wrong, but the smack in the face was actually crazy. He was definitely being reckless with himself. So I just feel like that was definitely unneeded. But the second one that came to my mind is the Domantas Sabonis step on. That was one of the most craziest things I've ever saw. Stepping on a grown man is really crazy. And the size and power that Draymond has, come on, man. He was put on the ground for a little while, man. That was crazy to see.
That was definitely crazy to see, man. But, hey, yeah, that's all I could say, man. I remember seeing Draymond kick. I think it was Steven Adams.
Oh, yeah.
What was he kicked him in the in between his legs? I was like, oh, boy. Was that Steven Adams?
Yeah, I think that was Steven Adams when he was on OKC.
And look, hey, Draymond funny because he'll try to play it off like it's a normal basketball play. I watch it 100 times. That ain't no normal basketball move, man. But look, coming in at the number one spot, we got my mans, Rasheed Wallace. 29 ejections over a 16-year career. Now, I remember watching Rasheed, man, and that man was a certified crash out. Let's be clear. Draymond is my favorite crash out, period, in the NBA ever. But Rasheed Wallace was a nut, man. And I know y'all go back and watch any or some of the old basketball games. Have you ever seen Rasheed playing?
No, I ain't really seen him like that. I'm gonna be honest. But I know him a little bit, but I ain't really take him as a crash out. I only just look at highlights and stuff like that from the older players. So I didn't really take him as a crash out, honestly.
Yeah, see, the thing with Rasheed was he had beef with the refs, man. I feel like Rasheed had a real hatred for the refs, and I feel like it was mutual, to be honest. But yeah, man, 29 ejections over a 16-year career. Hey, buddy, relax.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's outrageous.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. And before we wrap it up, on my last thing on my notes, we got your man Jalen Williams got a torn ligament. He's having surgery on his wrist, and apparently he went at least all the way through the finals, but I'm pretty sure I read that he played all through the playoffs with a torn ligament in his wrist. So seeing how he performed at such a high level through the playoffs, what can you say about Jalen Ramsey, knowing that he was dealing with a torn ligament in his wrist that's leading to surgery now?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. First off, that's a real dog mentality to have. But man, prayers to him and his family with dealing with the surgery. But yeah, I just hope that he has a speedy recovery. But playing through that injury and you gotta shoot, man, that's kind of hard to deal with. But yeah, he's definitely that dog, and I hope that he's on the court at the start of the season. Speedy recovery.
Yeah, we're praying for all the players that's dealing with injuries. Praying for them to have a speedy recovery for sure. Oh, and I almost forgot the KD trade, man. We got KD down in Houston now, baby. Can't forget about my man's KD. How you feel he gonna do down there with Houston with the pieces they got around him already?
Man, first off, when I heard the news, I ran right out to you and said it because that was one of the most craziest things ever. But speaking on the fit with KD in Houston, I definitely feel like it would work out. And for the Houston Rockets purposes, they definitely needed to get Jalen Green out of there. And Dylan Brooks, man, he really could have just went anywhere. But with KD down in Houston, I definitely feel like that'll work out. It's a young squad, and KD, man, KD's just that dog. I feel like he could work out in any spot, but definitely with Houston, I definitely feel like that was the better fit for him.
For sure. I like to see what it looks like with KD down there, man. Now, seeing KD, of course, we got OKC where he started, or, the Supersonics. We got him in Brooklyn. We got him in Golden State. That was fun to watch. It was a little weird and awkward to see, but, man, it was fun to watch. He been bounced around in the league a little bit to the Nets, but, man, I loved him down in Phoenix. I thought they had something special. They never could get it right, but I love seeing KD in that Phoenix jersey. And I like to see what he's going to do down there with the Rockets. I heard a little bit of talks that it's possible for James Harden to go back down south to Houston with KD. I'm not sure how true that is, but that would be something good to see. But they was in Brooklyn together, and it didn't work out, man. I thought KD, James, and Kyrie would be something special, man. How you feel about them not really being successful altogether up there?
Man, I'm going to just be honest. I feel like the whole super team situation, I really feel like it's dead. From a fan's perspective, it's one of the greatest things you could see with all your favorite top stars just on the team. I definitely feel like that's a good thing. But, like, with superstars, they really got to mesh. Just having, like, for instance, having 15 LeBrons on the team, it's not going to work because you got to have good chemistry and you all got to work out. But definitely, it was definitely sad to see it not working out and everybody departing little by little. It was sad.
I feel like the super team era is just going to keep growing because, so many players are just becoming much more talented. And I just feel like the talent in the NBA is just at an all-time level. Everybody's good now. Everybody's great. I mean, everybody out there is just a threat. When they touch that ball, you got so many great defensive players. So it's hard to not have a super team in today's NBA, but it's definitely fun to watch. But yeah, man, that is what it is. And I think that's going to wrap up the first episode of the Hot Take Podcast. You got anything else to add?
I definitely wanted to see how you felt about the Knicks situation and how you just feel about them just giving away Tom Thibodeau, and he was definitely a good coach. He led them to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I just wanted to see how you feel about them letting go and them trying to search for a coach, and they don't even know. And they had a good coach to start with. How you feel about that?
Man, I always get so surprised when teams let coaches go under these types of circumstances. I don't understand. I mean, as far as they made it over these past few years, he's been great down up there in New York. And I just don't really understand why they even had the thought in their mind to let him go. Something could be happening that we don't know about. It could have been whatever. I won't speculate, but it just doesn't really make sense to me for them to let him go. It definitely came out of left field. And like I said, I don't know why teams are so quick to let their coaches go. You have to give the coach time to mesh with the players as well as you have to give the players time to mesh with each other. And sometimes I feel like they let these coaches go too soon. And sometimes they let them go because they didn't make it all the way, but they made it real far and they was just that close, and then now they're choosing to, start over with a new coach.
And the next topic, I just wanted to see how you felt about the Miami Heat situation. They've been linked to getting a lot of stars. A little way back, they was linked to getting Damian Lillard, and a couple weeks ago, Kevin Durant, Giannis, really just any superstar that hits the market. But how do you feel about your Miami Heat and just the urgency that they need to really make something happen in that culture down there?
I feel like when they lost Jimmy, they didn't realize it was time to rebuild. They thought that they still were where they were when they had Jimmy. I feel like they really need to roll the dice down there in Miami and move some pieces out, bring some pieces in. And I feel like they won't be successful and get over the hump until they do. I mean, we got some great players. We got Adebayo, we got Hero, but I just feel like it's time to shake things up, play musical chairs, and I feel like they need to go ahead and move on. The Jimmy era's over, and I feel like, me personally, I feel like it's time to build from the ground up. So they need to get what they can out of these great players that they have now and then work on rebuilding. That's what I feel like they should do.
And we're going to switch it over to boxing. I hope Jon Jones, he has a good retirement. But do you feel like Jon Jones is ducking the next title, Tom Aspinall?
Hey, I feel like it was a perfect time for Jon Jones to retire because he has nothing to prove. I feel like Jon Jones is the greatest fighter that we've ever seen fight. Jon Jones is an animal. I don't think he ducks nobody. And I feel like he's retiring because that's what he wants to do, not because that's what he needs to do. I feel like Jon Jones can get in the ring right now with minimal training and beat anybody that calls themselves the champ. If Jon Jones is on the roster, then Jon Jones is the champ, whether he has the belt or not. Like I said, Jon Jones is the best fighter that we've seen. He's not ducking nothing, and he retired because he wanted to, in my opinion. And I feel like I hope he has a great retirement, and it was fun watching him while he was fighting at the level he fought at, and that boy was something special, man.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. He's definitely great when it comes to using the hands, and since we have a bunch of stars that's really on a farewell tour, I'll say, and just on the road to really going into retirement, who do you feel like the next face of the league is, young or just having success already? Who do you feel like the next face of the league is in the NBA?
Well, I feel like I said, it's so many great, talented players now. I feel like we've passed the era where there's one face, and we really have been past it, but I feel like we're past that era where it's one face of the league. I know at that time you had Michael Jordan, and Mike was just so big that it became a thing to be the face of the league. But there's always been many superstars and dominant players through every era. But, some names that come right to mind when we talk about the face of the league is, of course, Ant Edwards. That young boy is a dog. I feel like he's going to bring Minnesota a championship soon when he get one more piece, and I feel like they can make it far. Then we got your man, SGA. They just won the chip. Need I say more? He's the MVP. Finals MVP. I mean, the man's incredible. Now, this next one, Ja Morant. All right, I'm going to say Ja Morant. We know the boy's talented, everything. I just feel like he has some hoopla going on, and I feel like he's been cool, settled in, but I feel like once he get his focus back on, he's already a huge name in the NBA, and I can keep going, but that's just a few that comes to mind. Would you agree with me or what?
Since we are speaking on Ja Morant, do you feel like he should stay in Memphis or go and find another team? But I definitely do feel like your top three was definitely valid.
Well, when it comes to Ja Morant staying in Memphis, I'm not 2-2. I mean, is it a bad situation for him down there? I'm not really sure. Is it something going on down there?
No, it's not nothing going on, but all the pieces, they did just trade Desmond Bain for KCP. But yeah, it's not really looking too good down there. They do got Triple J down there. He did just win DPOY a couple years ago, but it's not really looking too good outside of the top three pieces.
I feel like anywhere he go, if somebody wants to trade for a big name like Ja, I feel like they would lose a lot of the pieces that he would need anyway. So it just comes down to, I feel like he's definitely on a time limit. Like I feel like any player would be if I'm playing at this level, and it's up to the organization if they're willing to make the move to bring the pieces in that I need. Or am I on a clock where I'm going to be looking to make my way out the door when I'm either in free agency or forcing my way into a trade, if you're not going to make the moves I need for me to be successful? And I feel like that with Ja Morant just as well as any other player in any other organization.
Last week we did have the draft, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on the draft and how you feel like it went. Cooper Flag, he went number 1. Dylan Harper, he went number 2, and so on and so on. How you feel about the draft?
Well, honestly, man, I look at the draft just to see who's going where, but half the time I don't know most of the players, to be honest, because I'm just not really into college basketball. When you got superstars like Cooper Flag and people like that, I feel like I'll tune in just to see, what all the noise is about, but I'm not really into college basketball. It's too many teams. It's too much to keep up with. It's funny because I prefer college football over NFL, and I prefer NBA over college basketball. It's kind of opposites on those sides. But, it was dope, man. Cooper Flag, where'd he go? He went down to Dallas, right?
Yeah, Dallas.
Man, that's going to be crazy. And we still got, not we, because I'm not a Dallas fan, but you got Kyrie still. You still got Davis, and you still got, you got Klay Thompson. Who is that third piece I'm thinking about?
PJ Washington. He was definitely that dog in the playoffs, in the finals.
PJ Washington. Okay, yeah. So they got some pieces, man. Dallas gonna be fun to watch this year because Cooper is a dog, man. I definitely had to go check him out, hearing all the noise about him. But that second guy you named, I'm not really sure who that is. But I look forward to get to knowing all these young guys. They got to let their game do the talking, man, because I'm a hardcore casual fan. I'm in it, but I ain't in it, man. I'm watching, but I ain't watching, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping up with it, but I ain't keeping up with it, man. I'm just doing my thing, But you always got the latest news for me, and I can formulate an opinion off of that, man. But how you feel about the draft, man? All these new players coming into the league. How you feel it's gonna go? Who you think gonna win that Rookie of the Year? Maybe.
I definitely feel like my top is definitely going to be Cooper Flag for Rookie of the Year. Dylan Harper, I definitely feel like it's going to be a good situation down with him in San Antonio. But the next thing I wanted to ask you was the Ace Bailey situation. He did go to the Utah Jazz with the number 5 pick, but he's just like with NIL, players just feel like they can just go anywhere. It's not my right to say where they can go, but I'm just saying players, they feel they can choose. But with the NBA, it's definitely more, you gotta be a little bit more professional because it is the big dog leagues, and he definitely does not want to play on Utah, and he's just trying to pick and choose where he wants to go. But they did draft him with the number 5 pick, so I just wanted to see how you felt about that.
I actually did have a chance to check out Ace Bailey too, so that's actually a name that I am familiar with. And the boy is a dog, but I do feel like the NIL, which is definitely something that's necessary for the players. So I definitely stand with the NIL, but I do feel like it did mess up some stuff. I feel like some of these players definitely got big-headed because when you're chasing your dream to make it to the pros and to the NBA, and then you make it to have complaints regarding the team you play for, to me, I just feel like it's ridiculous, honestly. That's really the best thing I can say. It's ridiculous. If you don't like the team that drafted you, go. Why wouldn't you? Go check it out. Maybe, leave when it's your time to leave. See if you can get a trade, which is also ridiculous for a rookie. But, I feel like you should just be happy, be blessed that you made it. But that's before when players were still hungry. But now you got millionaires coming into the league already due to the NIL deals. And don't get me wrong, they do deserve it. But I do feel like it's getting a lot of these players big-headed, and things are starting to look a lot different.
Definitely, I 100% agree with you. And the last topic I wanted to speak on was the Lonzo Ball trade, with him going to Cleveland and Isaac Okoro going to the Bulls. How do you feel about that?
Hey. Look, I forgot Lonzo came out to Cleveland, man. Shout out to Lonzo, man. I've been a fan. I hope he can be successful out there, man. You still got Mitchell out there. You got some pieces out there, and they a big dog in the East. I know you said the East was open, but I feel like you got some real threats out on the East. And Lonzo Ball being in Cleveland, man, it's exciting to see. And I know it's gonna mean a lot for the city, right up north from us. So I feel like it's going to be exciting to see, and I hope they can be successful. I hope that's the piece they needed to bring another chip to the city. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I definitely feel good. With being in Ohio, I definitely feel like I definitely got to go to the Cavs. But speaking back on the topic, though, I feel like Lonzo Ball, he's for sure going to come off the bench, but I definitely feel like he can bring that dog role coming off the bench and really just playmaking and really just bringing the Cavs potential really to the max. They did get knocked out the second round, but I definitely do feel like they can be that dog and really take the throne of the East. And I definitely do think that it is wide open in the East. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Hey, we're going to see.
Yeah, we definitely gonna see. But we will wrap up the first episode of the Hot Take Podcast. I do want to thank my co-host for coming to the show for the first episode, and just watch out for episode 2. And we will be coming back with hot takes and more hot topics. And I want to thank everybody for listening to the first episode of the Hot Take Podcast. And be safe. And do you want to say anything, co-host?
Peace.
That's a lot of sauce, chief.